So in brief, our next few weeks, we are going to be working on painting a cityscape. There are a lot of things, a street scene specifically, because I do that a lot, and I've been asked by people to kind of break that down. And one of the things I've learned over time is that there's so many pieces to this that it's helpful to break them into small bits so we can start to manage and understand how to paint and draw like a small section. So ultimately, over the next 4 weeks, we'll be painting different sections of a street scene, same street scene. So this is a photograph of a painting I did. No, sorry, this is the photograph on which I made a painting based on the photograph. But it's only a small piece of it. Next week, I'm going to give you another small piece. The following week, I'm going to give you another small piece. We're going to make 3 or 4 little miniature paintings, and then I'm going to give you the whole photo, and we're going to do a bigger canvas, and we're going to draw that and paint it. It'll probably take a couple weeks to do that once we get there, 2 or 3. So I want this to be a long, slow process where we start to explore different ideas. And one of the main things to talk about is cars, because cars are really hard, if you have not noticed. There are a lot of planes in cars. So hang on, I have sent you over the black and white of this. I'm also very intentionally not giving you the colors, and I'm not going to show you the colors of mine until later in the process, because I'm going to work with you. You're going to do some of your own picking of colors once we sketch this out. And you're going to pick your colors, and your colors are going to match values. So we're going to be practicing that as we're going along, and then you'll see what colors, later you'll see what colors I picked. So does everybody have a small piece of canvas and a pencil?
Yes.
Get my pencil. I don't think you're going to need a ruler here. I'm just kind of making so we're not gridding, but I do want you to have something that's kind of rectangularly shaped. And one of the things I want you to notice about cars is that they follow perspective. We'll talk about what that is in a second. And you can really see that here in this parked car. You can also see that as the back of the car is much bigger than the side of the car. In fact, if I'm to measure, let's see, if I were to measure.
Much.
Yeah, right. So the back of the car is about here. This is the back of the car, right? And then the side of the car, not only is the side of the car angled up, but yeah, it's much smaller and scrunched up. And that is because, here, wait, let me get this sketched out so you really have this. And that is the same sort of principle that applies to a cube, right? Remember, we drew the cubes in school. We know that in reality, these 3 sides are the same. They're the same.
You're kind of looking up at it too, kind of like it's your eye line is almost at the bumper.
I'm not exactly sure where the eye line is on this piece. We are standing behind it.
And it's uphill.
Yeah.
And it's gradually, no, it's not uphill.
Not uphill.
No, it's actually straight, but it looks like it's going uphill because this line would eventually go. The horizon line is probably about here because it's where the top and this bottom meet.
So we're looking at like the right side of the photograph.
Right. Sorry, what's that?
The right side of the photograph.
Like
when we see the bigger version, the cars are on the right.
Yes, the cars are on the right. Thank you. Yes, 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 yes.
Oh, okay.
I will show you the bigger version later on, but let's focus on this right now because we will talk about that. I'll show you the bigger version of the photograph later. Hi, Sandra.
Hey, Leo.
But one of the things I want you to get as we're starting to work is this car is not going uphill. It's actually straight. But because we're standing in the back and we're looking at it, it's going up, right? Just like the road goes towards the horizon line, right? When we draw this road, we know that this road is not actually going uphill, right? We know that this road is flat. It's just how things look, a flat road looks as it goes farther away from us. Something we call cone vision, right? So that's the two challenges of this are that you're going to feel intellectually challenged by the idea of the front and the side, right? And also that the side is coming up, but just like this cube, we know this side is not actually rising up. It's actually sitting flat on the ground. That's how it looks to us as things go away from us. Right? This is why I'm like, oh my God, we're totally just doing this like a few pieces at a time. So later perspective, let's just work on these 1, 2, 3 cars. Tiny bit of road. We're going to talk about how to get cars, and I'm kind of sketching in the major elements here. Right, you can see, Joe, so everything that's kind of above the horizon line, right, going down.
No, they look like a gang.
Right, everything is going down towards a single vantage point. But I didn't want you to have to worry too much about that, which is why this is a very simple, I know it doesn't seem simple, but it's why it's a very simple, there's not a lot of elements in here for us to focus on. So at the beginning, what I want you to start is kind of a,
Next door, and they're saying that.
I'm going to mute that. What I want you to start with, as always, is this simple kind of boxy shape down here, kind of towards the bottom, which is going to be the back of your car. Now I can definitely see it's a rectangle. Oh, actually, interesting. Is it square? It's a square. So whatever size you're going to make this box, the height needs to be the same. Oh, look what I did. I made it way too big. All right, so am I gonna so this is a square. The size, it doesn't really matter how big it is, what the size is. You just want, look, it's a square. Looks rectangular to me. But you want all 4 sides to be the same size. So you start by sketching that. If you want it to be bigger, like this way, you also have to make it bigger this way. Got it? You can make your square bigger if you want to. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Maybe bring it up to about 1/3. 1, 2. This is the key. We start with this box. And then, let's see, what's the simple shape? Here. I know that half the size of this width here, which you can see I'm getting by kind. I'm not measuring. You can use a ruler if you want to. This is how long my car is. We'll talk about the angle in a second. But the side of my car goes as wide as half. Is that right? Yeah, half the distance, half the width of the car, of the back of the car. So this is 1, And then this is 1/2.
Started your square about halfway across?
No,
No.
look where it is in relation to the, I'm not including this white section. If this is,
No.
if this is disturbing you, this is
No, no.
the composition.
Okay.
Look a little bit more to the right. Here, sorry, let me make that really clear. So we start with this box and then we go to this halfway point. We start here. Probably just a picture of this box. You know, I'm sure you guys know what a box looks like. Sandra, what are you working on today?
I'm gonna finish for rabbit and I'm gonna do the new cat.
Excellent.
I mean, you know, the new picture of the same cat that I can't seem to.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so once you do that, now I'm going to take this top and bottom edge. I'm going to need to angle up. So I'm going to start by, I'm going to kind of guess at the angle here. That's too steep. So one way to measure the angle up, I'm just trying to figure here, what's the simplest? Here it is. I want to make a simple. Right, before we get into too much detail. I'm gonna have to print this out again, which I will. Right, so notice we're not gonna try and get the inside shape of the windshield here quite yet. We're gonna try a simpler shape in which I guess the angle, it's a little tricky here. We can't exactly use the vanishing point the way we normally would because we can't see the whole picture. But I can kind of guess at the angles. I'm going to sketch this in. Yep. 1, 2. I think I can already tell that's a little bit. And then here, I'm guessing my angle that this goes up, this is straight, and this comes down, right? This is a little sort of like a bent cube, a slightly warped cube. And let me, here, I'm gonna add a spotlight so that you can see. So from here, to check the angle, from here, I am holding my arm straight. And I'm holding my arm straight. I'm not touching my paper. I'm not touching my paper. I'm keeping my arm straight. I'm lining up my pencil with the angle. And then I'm coming over here and checking, to see, does that line up? And what I found was it's a little bit steep. So if you've ever seen people in our class going like this, they're doing one of two things. They're counting, right? Or they're checking angles. The key is not to touch this, because if you touch this, you will move your arm will move as you come over here and touch it. So the key is, and you want to make sure your arm is not bending while you're doing this measurement. So if I come here and I measure it, and then I bend my arm before I come over here, you can see the angle's different, right? So I want to keep my arm bent. And it's also very easy to stand up and do this. So here, standing here, and over here. Now that angle looks about right. So that's how you check your angle. And now I'm going to check the down angle. Oops, sorry. I'm gonna check the angle going down. I could come down just a little bit. So try drawing, we know that the side comes up to just the halfway point, right? It's about half. So we know how wide it goes. Now try to get those angle lines in. We'll be able to use perspective once I have the whole picture. You'll be able to use perspective to help you figure out what those angles are. But now we're just going to need to judge it, kind of judge it a bit. And you're going to feel like this is wrong. You're going to be like, this doesn't feel right at all. So that's kind of how perspective works. It mucks with your sense of reality. But this is how we start kind of sketching back in the side of the car. So we start with that relationship. Because so many things, you can see, this can take a million years just here kind of getting this. And I have been noticing since I've been teaching cars that there are things that I've missed over the doing of the cars. So you'll see that hopefully my cars are improving too. I've been painting cars for 20 years, but I still think I can improve my cars. Just to be really anal, my ruler. So you guys take your time to get these to this place, and note that your idea of what's happening here, it's okay if it takes a while to get it right. I'm just double checking something wrong here. No. Yep. I'll be right back. It's hard. Here, I'm going to remove my, it'll be easier to see it if I remove my spotlight. And Sandra, highly pixelated pictures are great. Low resolution pictures are really great for this kind of exercise because it forces people to get out of the idea of how do I say it? It's forcing you to get out of detail and pay attention to the bigger shapes. So that is the idea. That is the idea of using a very loose picture. You don't want the details. You want just bigs. You just want vague lights and darks. I also like this one because you can see there's some really beautiful, there's a sunrise, a sunrise or a sunset, maybe a sunset happening. And so the sun is coming down and it's hitting the cars in this very specific way so that you can really see where all the different sides of the car are. So when you've got it, send it over.
Sorry, Leah, I was speaking to you without while being on mute. Yes. I had wondered whether that's why you wanted it like that.
Yeah, I did. And when you see the bigger, and when you see what I've done with this painting, and when you see what everybody does with this painting, you will see, it's kind of like yesterday's piece, right, that we did in charcoal, where you can't really see a lot. All right, Andy, let's see. Hold this
The
up.
light that you said was like sunset. You don't think it's a shop across the street or?
I know,
or
I have the whole thing, I have the whole picture.
Okay.
I painted it. I swear, there's a method to the madness. Yeah, I'm gonna hold up your piece so I can check it. I know it's a little hard to see because there's a little bit of a glare. Perfect. This one has to come down much more. So your angle on top, Andy, is like this. But the bottom is perfect. Good job. And just know it's just so hard. Like this stuff, it's like, yeah. And then you're feeling like this is going uphill. Oh no, it's not. It's totally on flat ground. It's just how we view flat ground. You know, one of the things you learn as you get more into how the brain works is that you understand how much the brain interprets and organizes information so that you can understand it in a particular way, right? It's not like we just look and see what is. If we didn't have cone vision, we wouldn't be able to tell if things are farther apart, farther away from us or closer to us. It would be really hard. Cone vision allows us to make things look smaller as they go away from us. So yeah, there you go, Andy. I think that's good. Let me check.
Presumably every kind of vision does that.
Yeah, well, yeah, we have cone vision. So, well,
I mean, like not even cone. They would also make it.
Believe it or not, Andy, even a little bit steeper down. So now you're like here. A little bit further down. But you know, how are, okay, Pat, I think that might be, that's good. Okay, I have to set it here in this. Sorry, I know that's kind of loud. The bottom is perfect. Okay, so Pat, top. So there's two things happening, Pat. One is that this straight line needs to go up about half at the same distance as this. And yours is down a little bit lower. It's kind of here. So that's changing this angle a little bit too much. So bring your straight line, make sure it's, wait, mine isn't. Here, hold on, 1, 2. I'll do the same thing with mine. How's that? Yep, up here.
Oh, make sure it's the same length as the
Yeah.
sideline.
Because that is also affecting your angle, right?
And which one's right, the sidelines or the straight line?
The straight line is, this line is right, but this line is too low, which changes the angle of that one, this one.
Okay. Oh, too low. What's that? 2 inches.
It's really hard, but it's good practice to check your eye. I'm double checking mine. Now mine is like 2. Mine isn't quite low enough. So if it makes you guys feel better, I'm jiggling around with this myself. I know this is tedious as fuck, but like, if you can get this right, it makes the rest of the drawings so much easier. Excuse my language, but that's exactly the language you
I
use.
think you'll have to edit that out.
Tedious as fuck. It is so tedious. This is why people don't do this. They don't teach themselves to do this. It's so tedious.
Okay, I'm still confused on what I need to do to fix this.
This angle is not quite right. It's a little bit out this way. So
Okay.
to bring up this,
But that'll make the straight line even shorter.
no. If you get the angle right, it won't. Just rework these two lines. Erase these two lines and try it.
Make what?
Erase these two lines and try again.
Okay.
It's probably the easiest way to tell you that.
You know, the weird thing about the car is there's, like, the tires are on the road, they are definitely on a plane.
Yes,
The bottom of the car is tilted down because there's some lift in the back.
yeah,
The
yeah.
body, so all those weird things are happening.
These weird things are happening. I'm gonna have you ignore some of that weirder stuff, but like, yes. That is, I actually corrected this when I painted this. So yeah, there's a slight depression here in the road, which is where this is kind of bending down. I'm gonna have you correct that a little bit. It's also true that the photo messes up the perspective a little bit. So, you know, that's part of what's going, so don't get too caught up in the,
Yeah.
we're paying attention to the major lines here, right?
Yeah, 'cause the roof of all the cars in line is tilted up, but we're looking at a perspective that's, okay, so that, I guess this squared off in the back has a slight upward tilt because of the slope of the road.
Don't go
That's all
there.
that detail.
Yeah, don't go there. Just make it a straight square. Don't go there. You have a right to, okay, Pat, this is, so I want you to see something. Look at this. You've worsened it, right? Look at this line that I'm measuring right here. See that?
I see.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the same size as this line. It's the same size as this line. Yours is tiny. Yours is
I
like.
know, because you made me do the line down.
You misunderstood what I was telling you to do. You did this.
Right, yeah, well, yeah, you told me to make.
So that's not what's happening. You need to go to your halfway point, go to this point first and draw a straight line. Just do this.
Oh, not the length from the square out, not the length of the line.
Yeah,
Oh,
this line is the thing that's wrong. It's too small. So you've done this. And what you need to, so erase the top two lines, because this line is good. Draw a straight line that goes straight down from the top of the car all the way to the halfway point, right at the bottom, lined up at the bottom here. Start by drawing that line.
okay.
Then you get this angle in correctly. This should be roughly the same size as this. Same length, excuse me.
I'll be right back.
This gets a little easier when we have a bigger street view, but there's so many things going on in every car that I really want you to practice one car before we get to start to be able to see what's happening. Joe, where are you in this process?
I think I've got the first pass of it. I can send it over.
Okay.
Straight. Same distance.
from here, then you can start to sketch out these shapes. And I'm going to have you straighten this. So these will become straight. I know it's tilted, but I'm going to have you straighten it. So from here, these are the main shapes. And you'll notice I've tweaked it a little bit so that it's straightened. And here's one. Let me get these in. So those of you who are there can try sketching these in. Let's see. Okay, so Joe, your problem is that your car is way too long. This is a square. All the sides are equal. This is a square.
Oh, really? Oh,
So you made it like, look at, you made it like, so.
so the back is as tall as it is wide?
Yep,
All right.
the back is as tall as it is wide, and then this side is half the width.
Yeah.
Go ahead and fix that. There you go, Pat, that's better. All right, so you'll keep on adjusting as you go. So from here, you can start to sketch in, right? These pieces. Here, wait, there's one or two more pieces. I'm gonna send a picture of this. You guys can see it really closely. This is why we're doing this. I remember I taught a beginning car drawing exercise and beginning drawing 2 weeks ago on Saturday. And I picked a simple, what I thought was a very simple car before we were going to go through the car assignment. And we spent the whole time on the real simple car assignment. From here, I'm carving out my details. The blue details really is what we're going for. And you'll notice that I straightened some things out. 1, 2, 3. There's a couple things to notice. The car window is about 1/3 of the way down the car. In fact, you can pretty much break this into, it's not always that way, but it is this way right now. 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3. So I can actually 2, 3. So when I come across here and add in my window, this back window, I kind of know. Also notice that both of these sides of the window are also angled. Not necessarily, they're not parallel, right? They also actually go to their own vanishing point. But let's not get too into vanishing points. We'll get there, trust me. I know you masochists, you want vanishing points. And I will give them to you. But right now, I just want you to kind of get the basic sketches in. So that's the kind of. Let's see. There you go, Joe. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Go ahead and try and sketch in your
Right.
car. It is really hard to get these angles right. Just so that you know, I always spend a lot of time. I'm gonna have to print another one of these. Top is kind of light. The headlights are kind of here. There's the license plate. Yeah, license plate is hard to see, so I'll put it here. Go. Right. There are. You can see the wheel well. The back tire. Kind of hard to see. So let me take a. I'm gonna get another copy of this drawing too, so you guys can see. Print this out before I get to do that. Is that an electric eraser I'm hearing?
Yes, yes.
It is such a distinct sound.
I went to look for one of
Basically,
those.
you know, you need to change it when you reach the metal, right? There's no
Yeah.
way of moving it forward.
Because it's so loud, but it's such a wonderful thing. It really is. I'm really tempted to quickly.
Did you find out how to change it, Leah?
Yes, you just pull the little metal, the little metal piece. that-
Oh, okay, that's easy. Thank you.
Pull it out. Yeah.
Oh,
Just,
so in fact, I don't need to change it. I just need to move it forward.
yeah, you do. Exactly. Exactly.
I went looking for one of those, but I didn't have it at Artisan Craftsman.
No, you have to order it. I think you
Okay.
have to order it.
I got it. Actually, they're cheaper on Bleak than on Amazon, but most art stuff is cheaper on Bleak than on Amazon.
Right.
Okay.
And at this point, it might be easier. I have this, let's see. I'm gonna see if I can get you guys to see both. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put the car up here to. So that you can kind of see. It's funny because with cars, if you just even get a little tiny angle off, you're completely off. You know what I mean? It's like. So I can already tell I don't really have this angle right. My car looks funny. The boxiness of it is kind of funny.
Which angle you don't have right, Leah?
The one on the right, by the window.
It looks longer on the photo.
Because it goes more this way. Because it goes more this way. It's more.
But-
angled. Yep.
But also,
It doesn't help. The idea of like longer or shorter, it helps a little bit, but it doesn't really help because what I'm really trying to
what I
get.
mean by longer is that it goes, mind you, it's difficult, it goes past your horizontal line, but
Yeah, not really.
it's difficult to tell. It goes
No,
past your
yeah.
green line, but it could be
Yeah,
different
yeah,
on the car.
yeah, but yeah, so not really in the sense that I have tilted this car to be in the correct location. That's because this car looks like it's tilted down. We're straightening.
Ah, that looks better.
See, really, it was just need to be a little bit, which of course makes it longer, right? This makes it longer. And let's see. The biggest thing. So what's really important actually about this piece, and I kind of blocked it here, so I'm going to re-sketch it out here so you guys can see the lights. So here's the right dividing line between light and dark. But here are the light, dark shapes. So you can really tell where the side of the car is because here's where this light is hitting it very intensely. And then I need to get this shape, right, which comes down here. So as I'm starting to go in and down, I'm getting my lights here. Here, I'm going to send you guys this picture too, because really the back of the car kind of bisects the middle of this light piece here. So I want to send you both. So you have them. I need to look at both to really get this right. There we go. The other thing that's happening here, which kind of bisects across the middle, is this. And here is where the light is. Yeah, I must have that in very quick. Yeah, so Joe, don't make this line tilt down here like it's doing. Try to follow these the blue lines instead. But you do want to try and get
I like the shape of the car, but it's not, you'll never know what model it is.
yeah, right.
I mean, for mine.
So wait till we do the whole picture is a line of about 20 cars.
Oh, yeah.
Like, ultimately, you're going to be like, oh my God. And then you're just going to give up. You're going to be like, I give.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of the car under here, which is very often the case. Like we often can't see the whole undercarriage of the car because it's dark, right? So the wheels are here, some of the shadow is here, the whole sort of under the grill, under this back. Oh, Joe, do you know what this back section of the car is called right here where the headlights are? What is that?
I don't know. I guess that's part of the trunk, but
I was like, I was trying to tell everybody the other day and I don't know what the word is for this.
I guess the rear bumper and the trunk is what I,
The rear bumper in the trunk, but yeah, but what is, I guess it's the rear bumper. If the front is the grill, that's the rear bumper. Now Pat knows how, is prepared for how difficult this is because we did this together last week. We did it different.
Yes.
So she gets that this is a process, right? It's not really possible to get cars in one go. I'm just trying to give us some ideas about how kind of things lay down and how to work within these parameters as you're starting to sketch it, which is really the most important thing. And even if things are even a little millimeter off, it really looks off. Oh, Sandra, I just got some great news.
Uh-huh.
Going to do an art show for Mental Health Week. So
When is Mental Health Week?
the first week of October.
But
So
very soon.
yeah, I'm going to have you guys, I'm getting a self-submit gallery ready and I'm going to have you guys start submitting artwork next week.
Okay.
Will look neat.
Oh, can I submit my framed ones?
Yeah, but you've just got to photograph them well.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the issue.
I can do that.
Getting the glare on there, and I mean, you may.
Oh no, I've got a non-glare glass now.
You may, it may look good. I submit them. I will tell you how they, read.
Yes, exactly. If you don't like it, I'll change it.
Yeah. Maybe maybe you can put in 2 photos, one of the up close and then one of the.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, it should just be, and I'll just let you guys know as they come through, do they work or,
You can't lie on top of my picture
Yes, I can, mommy.
and eat my pencils.
I get to eat everything, mommy. There you go.
Hmm.
Here, buddy.
Oh, Master Roberto, what am I going to do? Okay.
I cannot get Hermes out of the patio.
Oh, you like to stay there?
Well, normally not as much, but it rained really hard for the first time in 4 months in the last.
So you missed it.
And it must just smell amazing, right? Like for him, like there's all this
Right. Yes.
smells and the things, and like he just seems to be having a total.
He'll come back in when he's hungry, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I keep going out there to check on him, and he's like, "Yeah, whatever."
I grounded Valion today because I don't feel like chasing him.
I understand the feeling. Oh, oh. Okay, so one of the things I'm already noticing on this side, I'm gonna try and demonstrate this for you, is that this kind of triangle here, this dark, well, parallelogram, whatever, here underneath, leads right up to the light part of the wheel. I'm going to send you a picture so you can see. I didn't quite have it right. Maybe I don't even have it right. Right. Mhm. So I'm going to send up a close-up so you guys can really see. I can sketch this in correctly. So I want to show you. So here's the line dividing the back of the car and the front of the car. And then here's what's happening on the side of, sorry, the back of the car and the side of the car. Here's what's happening on the side. I didn't quite have that right. I might, just to give you a, once you get this in, show you what the, color picture looks like. So I think it'll be helpful. Really briefly, even though you're going to pick up your own colors. So I'm going to pop it into WhatsApp, but just for a minute. Out of here.
Ah, good boy. He's sitting on my picture, drinking the painting water.
Crafts are such stamps. I'm going to send this over to you guys so you can see the real colors here. Might be helpful as you're starting to This isn't good shape. It's a beautiful photograph. I made a really, I would consider a kind of joyous painting out of it. It's definitely, my painting is not the colors of this painting, but it takes off on the colors and the light of the. I really had a lot of fun with it. What kind of bird is that? Did I ask that question?
Yeah, no, it's usually a cardinal, either a parent or a baby communicating with a parent or baby. So a parent communicating with a baby or a baby communicating with a parent.
Such an
It's-
interesting.
So you can see this is the dad
Oh,
calling his babies.
oh. We don't have cardinals.
And when they sing, they don't sing like that. This is pure communication between children and adults.
Interesting.
When, if I hear this in my garden, I will clear the cats. Or
The
ask the
babies
cardinal
are,
to
because it
leave.
means the babies are around.
Yeah.
We don't have cardinals, so that is a sound that is like completely unfamiliar to me.
Yeah.
But I was thinking that the one that would be unfamiliar to them, Joe and Pat, would be the loud one here is that woodpecker with the spotted tail.
The flicker.
The flicker, yeah. The
Yeah.
fleet flickers everywhere, and they are a very dramatic looking bird, and they have such a loud call. It's very,
Oh, really?
yeah, it's really distinct. Like we had two flickers. We have a giant telephone pole with holes in it, and 3 years ago, a bunch of baby flickers were born in it, like in a little hole in the telephone pole. And every year they come back. The same baby flickers come back to try and lay eggs. The last 3 years, the squirrels have been getting to the eggs, so they haven't had any luck. But they all like have been coming. Hi, Diana, you're here.
Ah, Diana, I was hoping you.
Yes, she breathes.
Yeah, at least I'm popping in to say hi.
Good, nice. To see you.
Hi.
Paint for just a little while before you go back to work.
I will
Yes.
think a little bit. And I'm sitting here with Julia, so I
Oh,
can't
nice.
go and get Sunny, and she's
Mm.
been in her cage for 2 hours now.
So you have to get her. You
I
have to
have-
probably take her out, no?
Yeah,
No, we can't see Julia, but she's blocking the way. She's smart, Julia is. No,
she's laying in front of the mirror. Do you want to say hi to class?
come on, say hi to the class.
Say hi to my class.
Hello, Julia, we've missed you. Oh, we've missed you,
Julia, you're
sweetheart.
still the queen. You're still the queen. Don't
You're
worry.
having to contend with that big monster.
You're the boss of
Oh.
the dog. You are. You are the boss.
Hello, Julia.
Let him
Doesn't have
go.
Oh,
to
I'm
drink
gonna
the
drink
paint
your
water.
coffee.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's not drinking paint water, she's drinking tea.
Yeah. We are Diana is in the middle of planning a massive event, which is why she's in and out, but we're happy to see her when she gets here.
Oh, no way. Sorry, I just killed a spider.
What are you working on, Sandra?
The cat that I keep failing. This
No.
now looks like this. This is a new photograph. I'm hoping I'll be able to. I need to finish the rabbit, but first I'll do the cat.
That's a nice photo, though.
Exactly, it's a fantastic photo. If I can't do this, then And I can't do that cat.
You can.
I think I can.
Yes, you can. Anyway, I have to go and get Sunny. I know you hate that.
So those of you working on the car, go ahead and, oh yes, I see somebody has sent where they are. So Pat, I want you to look at this. You're close, but I want you to look at a couple of things. Good job, guys.
Oh, what are you doing? You're gonna ruin my painting. Move away, move away, move away. Move away.
Look at this shape. I want you to look closely at what I'm about to send you. To look at the side of your car, and I'm
Okay.
re-sketch the shapes out here. And it's because I drew a lot in here, so it's kind of hard to see what's happening. Here, hold on, where am I? Sunday. Take a look at this close up and revisit your left side. So Joe, 1, 2, 3. So you, Joe, are trying to explain too much.
Any sketch line.
I want you to look at your, I want you to revisit your side also. 1, 2, 3. I want you to revisit your side also and really pay attention to look at the same thing I just sent Pat and look at how teeny this window shape is in this light. Look at how really we can't see. It's kind of the only light that we can see under the car. So you just try to explain too much and you can't really see it, so you don't want to actually draw it. That makes sense here. But take a look at what Pat sent and revisit. You're getting there. And you guys, this is hard. That's why we're practicing it. So this is the hard part.
Saw that car this morning and I thought, oh God, no, not again.
Right? It's hard, right? So this is kind of, so we're trying to simplify as much as possible. And this is what always happens. We make, and I do this too. I make this window too big. Really look at the white shapes here. Right? I don't get the angles right. Look at these white shapes.
All that space that I had filled with the window.
Randy, go ahead and send it in when you feel like you're ready, or if you're like struggling, this is also okay. Send it in so I can take a look at it. Okay. focus too much on trying to get the things that you can't see in, it's gonna mess with you. So this is a really great, this is a really great practice in just doing what you can see. And you can see, I actually sent you this picture in color so you can see a little bit better what's happening. I sent it across it. It's here. I'll send it again. There it is. You can really see it.
Huh. What are you complaining about, Julia? Yeah. We have to go and get your dog sister. Yeah. Then you can complain. Okay, come then. You can put my lap.
Andy, not bad. Really not bad. So I want you to do the same thing, Andy, with the side here. I love how you've got the wheel well. That's working out really well. But I want you to look at this window and the light, which is basically the part of the car underneath the window that's sticking out and up. You'll notice how little window there, dark window there is, and how mostly it's just kind of light. Great though. It's good. Good. You guys are doing good. I'll tell you that since Jessica's lectures on perspective, it has really helped me to understand more of what is happening. So we will talk about it as we go through. But today we're really just focusing on car shapes, which are really a pain in the butt. Look at how there is a big white spot here too. Hang on, sorry. Where's my thing?
I'm sorry, Leah, where was that big white spot you were pointing at?
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna sketch it out for you. Here, hang on. Here. On the outside. So see here, I'll send a picture so you can see it. It's here. I was just looking for my green pencil, which was working so well. And oh, here it is. Right here. Right there.
It's the reflection on the glass.
No, it's the side of the window. It's like the top of the car. A little reflection of glass, but mostly it's better, Pat. Here, hold on. Let's see.
I feel like I can't see the that rail on the front of the car. I thought that was all glass. Was all I could see is what I was thinking. But
because just remember, it is a little bit of glass, that is true, but the way it looks is like a dark shape and a light shape. We're trying to get the so Pat, you have this as a straight line, but if you look at it here, I'm going to sketch it out again and send it over to you. It's none of these are straight lines. This is kind of curved and this is kind of angled in.
Okay.
It's hard. Sending it again. Really close. Getting there. And I don't care if you guys get this exactly right. I would just like to see you take a stab at it so that we can start practicing this. I'm not going to spend too much more time.
I'm gonna go and get the little monster dog.
Great. See you, Julia.
Sorry, Julia.
Yeah, that front window is so blurry, I can't really.
So don't try. Just look for dark and light shapes.
Okay,
Really
it
look
looks straight to me.
It's not. It's more,
I'm not seeing what's there.
I know. Story of our lives, right? Not seeing what's right in front of us. When I get this done, erase off these. The outside lines, you can try if you want to erase the outside lines, just if they're starting to bother you.
It's a real mess.
Yeah,
Leave an electric eraser.
it's pretty great. I gotta tell you, I'm convinced. Just so you have an appreciation, you guys, of what it takes. It's tricky. And by the way, you're doing good. So I like where everybody is, even if you're not quite there, it's close. Yeah, you want an electric eraser too, Andy. These look pretty good. So I want to move us to the next step. So the next step, that's fine, is just to add in as many of the elements as you want. So on this side, there's a kind of angle, the streets, right, kind of angled. Let's see, narrower here, wider here. You can put in, if you want to, you can put in the tree. Well, you can also stop this wherever you want to as well. You can make this as simple or as complicated as you want. I think I'll probably also stop it about here. Well, let's see. And then what I'm going to do is continue my bottom line a little bit farther. My top line going kind of straight across like this. So you can see, I just took my ruler and continued this line. I'm going to draw a straight line down to the end. And then if I'm going to get these top cars in, see if I can get the shapes to show you. You can see, we can see much less of the other cars. I cut it off mercifully for you. So this is about as much as you can see of the bottom cars if you want to. You can see here, I'm going straight across on the top and I'm angling. Because if I go straight across and angle, these guys will also eventually meet right at a vanishing point.
Go.
So as I'm coming in here, I'm just going to do what I can see, right?
Is that vertical line the edge of your paper?
Yeah. Yeah, this one here. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I'm kind of, because I just grabbed a piece of, longer paper,
Right.
yeah. Sorry, when I'm in right brain, it's really hard for me to talk.
I have never had any signs of you having difficulty of talking.
Right? Yes, it just happened right now, Diana. You heard it here first. Totally true. It's funny, you can get kind of practiced at it if you're, doing something that you really know well. And even though I know this well, yeah, anyway, I'm just concentrating. Wise girl. Wise guy. So you see, I'm just kind of simplifying, so I can't see that much of the cars in the front. I'm not getting too much detail. Just enough, light and dark. And then I'm kind of adding in this tree. Let's see, there's a street light here. I'm adding that in, kind of circle. There's this big snowflake. I feel like putting that in. I'll sketch it in for now. Right, I can do as little or as much as I want on my detail. I'm not going to make you guys do a lot. I'm just sketching in some pieces. You can see I've given you the what do you call it? The source. So in color, so you can see what's there and see what's interesting for you. But I really want us to focus on painting these cars. So don't worry about getting too much detail in here. Do as much as you want. And then we're going to start talking about painting. They're looking good. Send this over. Oh yeah, and we still got a whole hour to paint. So as usual, our painting classes, we spend most of our time drawing. That's okay. That's where all the work is. It's the drawing.
I think I'm gonna go with what I've got, even though it's not
That's okay. Yeah,
what's
that's
on the picture.
we'll be learning. Yeah, we'll be learning as we go. So let that, yeah, that's okay. You can correct. So just kind of add whatever simple pieces you want. I've got the road here. I've got the tree here. I think this is where the sidewalk ends. I've got a couple windows, but really I don't care so much about that stuff. I'm just kind of trying to give a few pieces. Remember, we're going to be working on this over several weeks. So this is just one little piece of it. Should totally give you a glimpse of the whole, should probably give you a glimpse of the whole photo, just so you can see what we're moving towards. Would you guys like to see that? Okay.
Actually,
Or is it helpful?
oh,
not-
this, I don't know, this is an interesting
That's because
right
this
here, but yeah, maybe seeing the whole thing is,
piece of the photo. Maybe next week I'll show you the whole photo.
I think this, what you've cropped here does give us something really good to work with.
Right? It's a sort of things to sink your teeth into. And this concept that this is eventually going to start coming, right? Like things are going to start moving up, and that I'm working within these things. We'll be using the vanishing point when we get to the bigger, more wider look, but now we're just kind of working on the shapes of cars. Because cars, unlike cars, like several cubes on top of each other, right? Cars go like this, and then like this, and then like this, and then like this. I'm sorry, this, that, this. There's a lot of plain cars which are a little hard to see. Unless, but I like this one because at least you can see the kind of white shapes here really are indicating a plane in a certain direction, right? This is not all one side. This part of the car is poking up. There is an analytical thinking process here that I think is really, if you can adopt it, it really incorporates into all the thinking that you do. There's a whole section here.
Do you use a harder lead when you're sketching? Because I've got a mess, and then I notice it really mixes with
I
the paint.
don't want to use the harder lead, Joe. You just have to be able to see it. I just use an HB pencil and I push hard, because if I don't, then you guys can't see it. I would rather do lighter lines myself, but other than you guys, it's harder for you guys to see. So I'm going a little harder than I should. Then again, with paint, we can cover up most things. So. Let's see. Just so that you know, Andy, this is really dark. This is really light. I would draw a line, Andy, right here to show the edge of your composition. Just sketch it in. so that you don't get confused. You know what I mean? I wouldn't try to extend it all the way to the edge, just draw it in.
Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely. Gotcha.
And then maybe add, so right here, actually where it stops, you can draw this where the third car hood is, car at the top of the car here. You can stick it right there, that'll help. Yes, this is looking good. Good job, guys. Good job. All right, we're almost ready to start painting. I'll give you a couple more minutes. I'm just gonna go get some water. And then we'll start painting. I'm getting water to drink. I'm using Gam salt for painting because we're on oil.
Yeah, that's something I'll mix up if I have two of those in front of me.
Yeah, right, it can be bad. It can be really bad. Mixing your Gam salt in your wine, your Gam salt in your water. Definitely use different cups for those things. Move everything over.
What is that snowflake doing in there?
Not gonna make it into mine.
What did you say, Pat?
What's that snowflake doing in there?
What's that decoration?
Oh,
It's Albany at Christmas. This is one of my favorite paintings. This photo like generated one of my favorite paintings that I made last year. So I'm excited to eventually share it with you guys. Okay, looks good, Pat. Good, 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 good. Like it. Okay, Joe, you ready?
I think so. It's, did I send it?
Mm-mm. No, I have not seen it yet. Send it over. What you got? I think you guys are all ready to paint.
My cars
No
are,
interference. No, not now, not now.
Okay.
Are you reasoning with your cat, Sandra?
So,
Yes,
Joe,
I'm doing a wet on wet, so I have to move fast and he's interfering.
Joe, your window is still too big, but I would give yourself an end. So just block out like I did so that you're not sort of drifting off. You know what I'm saying? You're not drifting off into nowhere. Give yourself a vertical line to end your composition right here.
I need to do that too. I didn't know what to do
Yeah,
over
do
there.
it. Just do it. Later you can do something different or paint an edge or whatever, but right now I want you to just work with, don't try and extend this beyond what you can see. It's going to do things that you can't even imagine. This is looking good.
Well, I couldn't make that next car that wide, so, yeah.
Right. So I'm going to give you guys some choices as we go to paint. You want to make sure that you've got a little bit of Gamsol to start. If you're working with oil, I'm assuming everybody's working with oil. I'm going to pour my Gamsol in here because we're going to start as always with a Gamsol base. I'm out of Gamsol. I need to get more. So I just have a little Gamsol poured in the jar here. I'm going to put it here so you can see. And then I'm going to start with a skinnier brush than normal. I'm starting with a flat. I don't want it to be teeny, right? But I'm not using this to begin with. I'm going to use this. I'm making a decision to use this. And then I kind of decided as usual that I was going to start with, where is it? I put it over here. I'm just going to start with burnt sienna. I paint in so many places right now. I'm like kind of confusing myself. Well, anyway, here we go. I was going to start with burnt sienna, or Andy, in your case, transparent red oxide. But I was gonna tell you guys, I think you should start, we're gonna do a single color base, and I want you to pick whatever color you want. So it doesn't have to be what I'm picking. I'm just picking it because it's my go-to. You could choose that color, or you could choose any color you wanted. And then I'm gonna dip my brush in the Gamsol, so it's very runny, right? And then I'm gonna go in and darken the darkest areas of my painting with this kind of runny layer. Under. I'm just gonna go to the tree here since it's kind of also pretty dark. I'm going pretty loose. Let's see what else to start. The window is dark. A little bit is dark. Here is dark. Here is dark. Notice I'm going around the lighter areas. Really focusing on the darkest areas. And I'm
So
going
you just mix the Gamsol on your palette with the burnt sienna?
Yep, that's
Okay.
what's running like that. Because I dipped it in here, and then it's running. Mine's running because it's, you know, tilted up. So yours shouldn't run unless you're also tilted up. And then I'm probably just gonna go do kind of a light wash over almost everything else. Now there's one, this area is pretty dark. This area is lighter, so I went under the car. I want to go a little bit lighter. Notice I'm still kind of going around much of the car. And I'm avoiding the light areas for the moment.
No, no, that was not an invitation.
All the gambling products are like 40% off at Blick,
That's awesome.
in case anybody cares.
What was that?
The gambling products at Blick are like 40% off
In the stores or online?
in the store.
Stores. Nice. I wonder if they do little deals because, so we're starting with this. I'll take a picture. I'm starting with the dark, so I want you to keep the lights light. We'll do a little something slightly different with the lights. But now, and you guys, I chose burnt sienna or transparent red oxide. You do not have to do those things. You could do blue or green or bright red or anything you want. I just want to make sure your values are kind of reflected. So the tree is a little bit darker, right? Everything else is a little bit more muted and light. And I kind of skipped around the lighter parts, which are the car itself. It kind of looks cool already.
Mhm.
And just for you people that don't think think acrylic dries really fast, I'm using the same palette as I used Thursday morning.
Ha!
Wow.
Acrylic?
Wow.
Yeah. But I just put plastic over it when I left it.
That helps.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's really just if you're slower, oil works better for you.
Yeah, it might be.
Acrylic works better for you. Your oil, and I really like some for both. I really have things there's things I like to slow myself down on. I use oil on those, and there's things I like to speed up on. I use acrylic on those. And then there's watercolor and ink and pastel, which are where I'm trying to get expressive and gestural and not so detailed. And I want it to be kind of a quick one pass. All right, let me see if I can get my little lion down. Come on, little lion.
I might be done. Maybe not.
Here we go. That's my boy. There's my boy. Okay. How's it coming? Send it over. Or take your time. Sorry, I don't mean to be pushy.
Yeah, I'm gonna send my cat over and see what you think, if I should work a little bit more on it.
Okay, I was remembering it was almost done, so send it over.
Mhm.
I'm betting it's done, but you tell me. I don't know. I really like it, Diana. I wouldn't do anything else to it. I think they'll love it. Sandra, do you have a thought about that?
Let me look at it.
I think it's great. Oh my God.
Does
Oh, I
it
like
read
it.
as a gray cat? Does it read as a gray cat, although there's almost no
Yes.
gray?
What is that thing on the right elbow?
That's just a light reflection.
Oh,
I think it's marvelous. I love
I
it.
love the eyes. I love the face.
I love your mark making, Diana. It's very, yes, it looks gray, but you've made him like colorful, even though he's a gray cat. Like you've made it clear he's gray, and then you've added color to him, which I think is wonderful. I would love a
Yeah, he
picture.
definitely reads gray.
Yeah, I think you're done. And I just love
Okay.
the design on this one, and I love the composition, and I just love everything. I love the colors. Yeah, you're done. Check it off your list. Keep going.
On to the horse.
On to the next one.
Yeah, I have that horse.
I have a friend who has who's a writer who is getting her first book published, and she just finished the draft going to her agent for this book, which is going to be published, and she's already thinking about the next book. Like she's like, I'm on to the next book. It's going to be a totally different book. I'm just starting it as soon as this.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is how you have to be, right? This is how you have to be.
Yeah.
Like,
My friend that write these slow crime novels set in Nice, France.
mhm.
She just published her third novel, and the next one is due in December. So it's
Right. Yep.
Wow. So
You're
she's
just
getting
like-
no break.
No, you don't. Did I tell you guys I met?
Yeah, but it's
I had Maggie.
different books and paintings.
Yeah. Well, books take a long time. I mean, books
Exactly.
take a long time, but I taught Maggie Stiefvater, who is who's a New York Times best-selling YA fiction writer, and she puts out at least one book a year, if not more. She came to do, and she's extremely like multi-artistically talented, and she came and took a painting class with me. Because she did a lot of work with colored pencil, but she hadn't really painted. And she was on book tour. So she was on the tour. She came to my class. She lives in Kentucky, but she was in Portland on tour. on tour for her current book, which was out, and she was halfway through the draft. She was just taking 2 hours out on her tour before she went back and worked more on the tour for her next book, which she was halfway finished with. So she was touring for a book that was totally out of her mind, right? As she was working on this new book, and she used art to take a break. She impressed me. I have to say that now that is a creator who's making a living.
Yeah.
Writing books is no fun.
No, it's not as fun as painting. Let's put this way.
No, and it's so freaking lonely.
Because it's difficult, presumably, to listen to. You can't listen to a book at the same time, you know, like you do, Leah, painting.
Yeah.
That's very true. You can listen to a music or a book while you're painting.
I know, I can't. My husband writes books and plays and screenplays, and you know, he's just locked up in a room writing all day long. It's so depressing.
I guess you get lost in your own world.
Yeah.
I think for some people it's better than others, right? I think some people actually need that as part of their creative. By the way, these are looking good. So I'm showing you how to get to the next phase, which is basically to just do kind of a washed out version, right? So a little bit more Gamsol, a little bit less paint onto your medium areas. And then when it comes to the light areas, I'm just going to lightly wash them with this kind of same medium too. Here, here, and there. So that you really have your light. Our lights we can push lighter later. So Pat, I want to talk to you about your perspective
On which painting?
on this building painting that you just sent me. I'm not going to help you with colors because I believe you can totally handle that, but we're going to talk about perspective for a minute.
Yeah, I got that left-hand side of the building coming toward me somehow.
All right, so these window, these frames, these horizontal lines need to be straight across, horizontal, straight across. You have them bending.
Oh, okay, that's what I was doing.
Same with the bottom. So all the horizontal lines here, all these horizontal lines need to be straight.
Need to be straight.
But you need to start, right? You need to go back and correct that first. So my suggestion is to go in with your blue paint or your white paint and across the bottom here, just run a ruler.
What is this?
Across the bottom of the window?
Yep, because the bottom is drifting up and it needs to be straight across.
Okay. Is
And
the angle on the left side of the building wrong too?
The left side of the building is better. The left side of the building is the problem.
No, I mean the building itself, not the.
No, that's fine.
Okay, okay,
That's fine. Just fix
Okay.
horizontals. All your horizontals need to be
okay.
straight. So, you know, you could take a white actually and straighten your horizontals with white paint and then go back in with other colors around to fill it in.
Right, right.
That's
Okay.
what I would do, actually. I like the color combinations. I think they're fun.
Do you? Okay.
Mhm.
Took me a while to figure that out.
I like them. They're nice.
Okay, so even lighter.
Mhm. I'm really excited about this next little project we're doing because I feel like we're going to be able to build something. And once we've got this done, then you guys get some choices with your colors. So we're going to talk about that. We will talk about that as we're doing it. Look at the colors that they are. We'll play with what kind of colors you could use. Hi, Boo Boo. No, I kind of put my sidewalk in the wrong place. It really comes down to here.
All right.
Doesn't it already look kind of cool though with these washy colors on?
It
Yeah.
does.
And that's because your drawing is good, right? You spent enough time on the drawing that once we start to get these major lights and darks in, our minds are already kind of filling in the images for us. And that's kind of what I'm trying to emphasize every time as we're going through in different ways. For those of you interested in cars who want another practice, I'd highly recommend checking out yesterday's charcoal drawing of a street scene. I think it was really good. And if you have newsprint and charcoal, this is an absolute, we definitely dealt with kind of constructing a whole street scene, but focusing on the drawing, yet using charcoal. So it's a little bit more. So I would highly recommend that. That's up on the website, or it will be soon when Holly gets around to putting it up there. I know her weekends are pretty busy. Maybe she's already put it up. Anyway, it might be up soon. If it's not up, it's going to be going up shortly.
Who's handling the website?
Andy's daughter, Holly,
Oh, nice.
the videos. She does all the video editing. She's in film school. So, but she also handles she just handles the website stuff because there's just a lot to do. So much to do.
Mhm.
I was so proud of Charlotte. She sold stuff.
She did.
Yes. At that show she was in Sherwood.
Did a lot of people come?
Well, yeah, we saw a lot of people walking around. But she actually got commissions too. Yes, this has really done a lot for her.
That's awesome.
How she
That's
feels
your
about it.
daughter?
My daughter, yeah, she's been an artist forever, but she also has a 8-year-old boy. So she's kind of not been doing it for a while.
But she's been she's been supporting Portland Open Studios in various capacities, usually digital,
Yeah,
for the last like 5 or 6 years.
yeah, not like artistic capacity, but yeah,
Yeah.
her other skill.
She's been a long time studio, Open Studios attendee. She and her mom, she and Pat. Here, boo-boo. Come here. You don't know what to do with yourself. It was starting to rain out in the catio, and Hermes was freaking out. He's like, "What the heck? What? Everywhere I go, things are dropping on me." Like, I really know what rain is. He's like, "What is this?"
Oh no.
How could she not know what rain is? Oh, she's that young.
He's pretty young. He's just 1 year old, and we're pretty restrictive with him about when he goes out. It hasn't rained in the last 4 months.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's up there.
I wish we could get some of that.
I know it just started raining. I don't know if you guys can see him. He's kind of over my, where are you, buddy? He is actually about to cause some trouble, so I'm gonna pick him up. Here,
oh yeah, it's starting here too.
here he is. is little, here he is. He's right. Oh, yeah, nope, you don't even want to be up here. Okay. I love you, but you are being a pain in the butt. You are. You are. Yeah. Yep.
That's their job. I can't believe my dog is quiet, even though she came directly from her lunch break.
Your dog has a lunch break?
Yep. I put her away. I put her away in her crate for 2 hours every lunch.
Oh, wow.
So she gets used to being alone.
Does she cry?
No. She loves
But you
it.
give her a nice treat, right?
Yeah.
Like
When I
peanut
first
butter or something.
adopted Kara, they said, you have to leave the house every day so that she'll get used to being alone. And then COVID hit.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, never
Maybe
mind.
not.
Never mind.
Well, that's what I do. That's why I do it. So that she gets used to be alone.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Ho, ho, ho.
Let's see. Joe, looking good. So just go ahead and sort of wash in lighter
Okay,
colors that, so you want to kind of get paint everywhere. This looks
All
great,
right.
guys. These are looking wonderful. And then we're going to talk, now we're going to talk about color, and you're going to have some, you people are going to have some decisions to make. You people.
You people.
I have decisions to make too. We all have decisions to make. And you notice I'm having you use a smaller brush for this, and that's because the car, which is this man-made object, has, we need a smaller brush to be able to kind of control what's happening. All right. Give me just a minute.
Oops.
All right. Oh, yeah, that looks great. This looks good, you guys. Looks good. Looks excellent. Okay, so now we get to think about colors. So once again, I'm going to send across the colors of the, I'm going to send across the colors of the actual photo. I found them inspiring, but like, it's not how I ended up painting. I ended up getting a lot crazier with the colors, but I think it's helpful for you to see them. So here they are. Here are the colors. Kind of grays. Oh, darn it. Where are you? Where is it? Sorry, I lost my WhatsApp. Here we are. You can see it. It's kind of gold and gray. Actually, it looks kind of pink here, but if you open this, you can see what the values are. But I want you to have a little fun with it. So I am thinking about making my lights kind of lime green. I'm obsessed with lime green right now. So let's see. I need for that. I need that yellow, the white, yellow, so I want you to pick a light, a medium, and a dark. It can be any colors you want. Go there. Really need some new paints. Adding a bit of turquoise here. So I'm mixing up, and now I'm moving away from, except to clean my brush, I'm moving away from using Galkid. Sorry, Gamsol. Moving away from using Gamsol, and I'm kind of mixing, using white and yellow and a bit of turquoise. I'm mixing this kind of fun light green. Not light enough? Nope. It really, actually, interestingly, this green reads like a medium. For me to get it light enough, I really have to get a lot of yellow in.
Does that turn it into a daytime scene?
No,
No.
no, not necessarily. I'm getting as light as I possibly can. These are even here. It's not really light enough. There we go. Okay. So I'm mixing in a light and adding that into these kind of crucial light areas.
Underpainting already dry.
Yeah. It sure is. There's light here. I may have to go lighter. That's what I'm experiencing at this exact moment. I might have to go really, really light. But anyway, I may have to go over with a lighter color. But I'm adding in light in a few places. Here, over my lights, I'm adding in this kind of yellow. And then I'm gonna maybe pick up a different brush. I really think we need like a smaller brush, even smaller brush to get the. I'm moving to pretty small brushes to get the different areas. So I'm going to mix a little bit of this turquoise with this burnt sienna to get a dark color. And that's what I'm going to start laying in here. Now, if you want to, you can take a little gal kid, put it in a jar, and use it to get your brush, just the tip of your brush wet, like this. So that the paint runs better. And also it will dry faster. So now I'm kind of going in and going through my darks. I'm just like playing with darks and lights. So you can see, I may have to go in and lighten my lights a bit. And I'm gonna also make this kind of my undercarriage color. Notice I don't see a lot of I'm not really distinguishing tires or wheel wells. Because a lot of that stuff isn't really visible. I'm just kind of getting my darks and my lights in. And then let's see. What would be an absolutely ridiculous color? Medium. Pink? I don't know, pink. So going in with a little Quin Rose. I'm going to mix some white with it to lighten it a bit. I want it to read, oh yeah, this is going to be my challenge. I want it to read as lighter. It's lighter than my yellow. I don't know if my yellow is the right color, but lighter than my my dark green, greenish blue, but lighter, but darker than the yellow. So I'm just like throwing color out here. I'm looking at the values of this piece, which I've already sketched out in a simple way. But if I want to, I can like, if I feel like it, I could go to sort of traditional, I don't know, red for the headlights, or I could do something different. Right? Or I could try, I don't know. Green or something. But as I'm sketching in these details, I'm really just thinking about those major colors. I think that might work. And I'm using a pretty small brush for all this. Goodness. I want to reuse the same brush and put a different color on it, I'll make sure to clean it off with Gamsol first. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to do something different here. Fine. Light, damn it. So I want you to play, don't pick these colors. Pick any colors you like that you think kind of represent dark, medium, and light. Lay them in. There we go. I can make my street pink like my car. I can decide on a different kind of medium color. It can be a different color. It can be the same. Let's see. I wanted to do like, I don't know. Maybe I'll take this lime green and turn it kind of. And I want to use a bigger brush. So I invite you now to experiment with this. The streets, there's a lot of neutrals in this particular section. A lot of mid-tones. So you can play around with them. Mixing different types of grays. This is quite dark. Do I want this to be more kind of red, touch of green? Well, tree's pretty dark. I can make the tree purple if I wanted to. Maybe it's I'm going to move to a more darker variation of lime green for my building. My building's kind of dark. Maybe I'm like, oh, I don't really like that. Picking it up. I'll try an orange. Going right up on my moon with this kind of crazy orange color. If you don't exactly like what you've done, we can fix it next week. So I don't want you to stress out about, did I get the right colors? Did I absolutely get the right colors? Because we can, if you don't like anything, when it dries, we'll work on it a little bit next week before going to our next section. And if you're having trouble with associating value with color, show it to me. And I'll take a look. I'll be happy to take a look. I guess I did kind of turn out to be quite a neat sort of terracotta and red color.
All right.
I'm going really quick, just so that you can see kind of where you want to be going with this. I'm not sure I love all my colors, but I'm sort of playing with the colors. Let me take a picture of it. Another brush. Your gal kid can help you to kind of get better coverage. You see sort of thicker coverage. Also helps dry faster, both of those. You'll see I kept things pretty simple. I am curious to see what you guys wind up with. Yeah, it's kind of too simple. Something's gonna have to change here. Let's see. Hold on. I'm getting a little bit darker around the edge of the car. Seems to be. Not too worried about the details, like I said, just kind of looking at what happens as I start laying my colors down. That helps a little bit to make a darker bottom and a lighter top.
It is nice standing up painting.
Isn't it? And Diana, don't forget to put your, let me show you guys a really good stretch I learned. I kind of threw my back out from too much painting. And so let me show you something my massage therapist told me that's really good. And it is after painting for a little while, whether you're standing or sitting, put your arms to grasp. There we go. To put your arms like, grasp your hands together like this, back, and really stretch your shoulders back.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It really is important. And I'm only telling you this because I was kind of crippled earlier this week. And it was because I was doing too much of this on my table, sitting down, standing up, all of it was like way too much. So it helped to kind of to do this every couple of hours. You should definitely do it after class.
Yeah, theoretically, I know all that.
I didn't really do it until I couldn't move.
Yeah, I know.
Like, oh my God, I can't move. I'm like really a mess.
But that's a good idea.
If you can remember, because I know you're doing a lot of work at your desk right now too. So if you
I'm doing a lot.
you can remember, it's good for the desk work too.
Yeah, thanks for that, Leah. It felt really tight, actually.
That's good.
Let's see. Nice, Andy. Yep, yep. Just keep on. So now, yeah, it's looking great. These are fun. These are really fun. Kind of, I feel like my red is too much the same as my pink. I'm not really seeing much value differentiation. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of yellow. I might not be able to fix it on this go. I may have to wait until next week. I'm white. Oh, here's my white.
I don't know how much fun this horse is going to be. Because it's going to be black and white, just black and white.
Really?
Yeah.
What they want?
Yeah,
Even though it got such gorgeous colors.
yeah, yeah. It's insane, but I might add some colors and show. And see if
And then just say, I can totally go over these. Just add a little bit of color, Diana. That will like really pop it.
Well,
You don't need much color to really.
Well, I'm a little behind and my palette isn't dry or my canvas isn't dry.
Don't
And
worry.
I have company coming over, so I'm wondering if I might knock off.
If you want to knock off, you can, and just keep going later. You know what to do. I think I feel like you kind of know what to do, Joe, because you are.
Well, what I need to do is start on with some of these that I've started and not finished and finish them up, but
We'll have time to do that in class, believe it or not. So don't
Yeah.
worry about that. You just bought another class.
And
So
we're still doing the last day of the month.
I'm gonna try. Yeah, I'm gonna try and do that. I'm trying to reserve one day a month where there's no lesson and you just work on stuff. So whatever you want to. So don't worry about that. That will. Am I liking that? No. I may want to darken this just a little. I really want you to just focus on getting this first layer on, and next week we'll talk about kind of brightening it. How you get in, like, once it dries, how we kind of go back in and jazz it up. How to do headlights, you know, that kind of thing.
So this isn't necessarily our last layer of color.
No, no, we may well go into, just spend a little bit of time working on how to, I want you also to get to, we want to do a lot of things, right? I want us to get to this place of learning how to layer color, learning how to tweak things, you know, learning how to fix what you're not happy with. Yeah, so it may well, we can work on this more, a little bit more. Probably not until it's a little bit better. What I'm really giving you a peek into is my process as I start to paint something. This is really how I do it. I often flip the colors around. Sometimes I decide what that is beforehand. Sometimes I decide in the moment. So kind of like whatever I feel like doing. And other times I'm like, nope, I definitely want this to be, you know, something. And then I start working it. Once I get those base colors in, then I can start kind of working it a little bit more. But that's what I like about this process. If I was in acrylic, I'd just be working over and over and over again. But with oil, I have to think about it for a little bit. I have to go away, leave it alone, try something else. And I like that. I'm generally a pretty speedy painter myself. And so I like things that slow me down and force me to think a little bit, which I like to do with my cityscapes. When I'm working on a floral, I like to do those quickly. I feel like the flow happens. When I'm working on a cityscape, particularly right now, I'm working on really deepening how I work with my cityscapes. I want time between layers. I want to actually be forced to think about it. And so that's one of the things I'm doing as I'm making these decisions. I'm looking at, I'm like playing with color and then sitting and looking at it for a little while, forced to wait for it to dry. This will dry by next week, so. Yeah, Joe, if you need to pop off, you totally can. We've got like just 10 minutes left anyway, so
Yeah.
don't worry.
I'm cleaning up.
Yes, and you remember, do all of you remember how to clean up with oil paint? Should I do a reminder on that one?
Oh, Gamsol and the wipe and the. soap.
Yeah, so
Don't
remember,
throw it in the sink.
you don't want to put any Gamsol or Galkid down the sink. This should not go down the sink. So whatever's left over here should get thrown into a jar with a lid and eventually taken to a dump that has hazardous waste. That takes hazardous waste. It's hazardous waste. So you don't want it to go down the sink. Your brushes, you can dip with Gamsol to kind of clear them like this. And then you'll wash them with soap and water.
I've never washed them.
Huh.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, you cannot put this stuff down. This stuff gets really bad. No, super. I mean, yeah, we don't want this in the drinking water. And then one of the other things you can do, which I often do, because I often don't have time to, or I often will, if you accidentally kind of leave your oil paint brushes, dirty overnight, they become really stiff, is you can have a jar of Murphy's oil soap with Murphy's oil soap in it. So this is what I do with a lot of my brushes right now. Talk about a totally disgusting mix. So here is a jar full of Murphy's oil soap. Seriously, this stuff. And I will just, at the end of the day, pop all the brushes in, let them sit overnight, and then wash them with soap and water in the morning. Or in 2 weeks. Depending on how long it takes me to get through.
I know that feeling.
I run out of oil painting brushes and I'm like, oh, and I look at it and this jar is completely full and I'm like, oh, I have to wash them. So you can let it sit for a couple of days. It's a really amazing, it'll make your brush as soft as a baby's bum. Right back there, strip all this stuff off. So that's my tips for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you my cat.
Yes, please.
It's still very much under construction.
Okay, but under construction is better than terrible, which is what you would have said before. So I
Yeah,
feel
well, it's not that I'm happy with it, but I'm pushing through.
Okay, I'm gonna send you my horse under construction, but
Okay.
it's totally under construction.
okay, send them over. Like it. Oh, Sandra, he's looking wonderful. Yes.
Really?
It is under construction and it's great. There is no, I love how you have now starting to incorporate working the eyes in, but keeping the outer area soft and light until you figure everything out. It's great. This is great. Already it's really good. And I've seen pictures of this cat. He's got that funny little pink nose, tiny nose and a big fat face. And you've totally got it. It's really.
Oh, it's beautiful, Sandra.
Oh, thank you.
And this is yes, Sandra, you're turning a corner and I want you to recognize that. And I can tell because I know you're working hard because you're frowning and shaking your head and going, but I've noticed your language is changing around this. Before you might have sent something like this and said, it's terrible. And now you sent it and say it's under construction, which is really what it is. So you haven't gone too far in any area. And the pieces are coming together beautifully to look just like it. It's great work.
Yeah,
Diana,
it's
that's
great.
great too.
Thank you. I like to call this stage not ruined yet. Like it's not ruined yet. So it could turn out great.
Yeah, that's great. That's totally great. These are wonderful. I just really hit you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, that's really working.
That horse could be done just like that. Looks really good.
It's great, Diana. You're good. You're in good shape.
The cat could be too.
Get colors in, Diana. Whip a few washes across. Do a burnt sienna wash, then a purple wash, then a yellow wash. You can cover it up with the black and white and still have these little hints of color coming through.
Yeah,
It looks beautiful, Diane.
thank you.
So Maggie Stiefvater, who I told you about before, the YA author, she did the crap. Well, anyway, you guys probably wouldn't know it. It's all like young adult fiction. you know, magic stuff and werewolves and vampires and all that stuff.
Oh,
Maggie,
what's her name?
Maggie Stiefvater is her name.
Okay, no.
And Maggie used to made her living. She grew up really poor. And when she went to college, she lived in Kentucky and she would paint people's horses, draw people's horses for money. That's how she did it. Because people were like paying for their horse to be painted. She said everyone would pay for their horse to be painted. She is a really remarkable artist. She's a great writer, but she's a really, really great visual artist too. I looked her up. I didn't know who she was when she came. And then later I looked her up and went, holy fucking shit, this woman is famous. In a certain set, she's famous. All right, anybody else want to send in where they are just to see? Joe, you can send in where you are. I don't need to see final. The other thing, yeah. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, Pat, lovely. Neat.
Really? I was just freaking out about it.
Don't forget about the light.
Great.
Forget about the light on the tire up here. Don't forget about this light. And don't forget about this light down here.
Okay.
More. It comes down a little bit more. I mean, I like the colors. You know, also it has to be dark all the way here. It has to be dark here. You've made this light, so make it dark under here. But it looks great. I actually think it looks really great. I think,
Okay.
Pat, your colors, you're starting to refine your colors in a way that I think is very you. I'm really liking it. Okay, Joe, it looks great. It looks perfect. So you can just jump in and start painting this next week, or Joe, if you want to join, I'm going to send you a link. If you want to join any of my other classes this week and just paint quietly, you don't need to pay for that. Yeah. I'll send you the schedule and you can join in if you want to. So if you want to, if that helps to like show up to a class, the classes are usually 2 hours. They're mostly after work.
Okay.
You're welcome to show up.
That's Wednesday night and Friday night?
Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Tuesday is 3:30 p.m. Thursday is 3:30 p.m. Let's say Wednesday night. Yeah, Wednesday night. Why don't you, if you want to come in on Wednesday night, because that's after work. If you want to jump in, just come in on the same link. I won't charge you for that. And you just quietly work on your painting and send it to me at the end. It's fine. How's that?
People do motivate me.
Okay, so why don't you try and do that? Andy, that's looking great. So Andy, you know, you can do that too. You can come into any class during the week. I know the week is heinous. I know it. It's just horrible. But if you can possibly jump in on like a Thursday night, right, which is 6:30, even Tuesday night, and you want to keep working, you're welcome to jump in and keep working on this painting. And I'll just be working with everybody else and you can work on your painting. You can
That's great.
Annie, if that helps to show up to a class to keep working, then I would say you're welcome.
Fantastic.
Yes. Great work, everybody. These are really fun. I think you all did a really good job of working with a very complex subject. So
It was fun join you guys for a little while.
what do you have to do now, Diana? What are you going back to do? Are you selling tables?
It's just, yeah, no, not selling tables. It's doing the program book.
Doing the program book. All right. Well, listen, everybody, this was great. We're just gonna keep working in this vein. Anyone in this class, so Pat, I'll tell you the same thing. If you want to come into the Wednesday night class, you're welcome to join. I won't charge you for that. If you want to just keep working and you want some companionship, you're welcome to jump in. Okay, guys?
Okay, thanks.
All right. Okay, everybody, we'll see you soon.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Leah.
Great work.
Great week,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.
Bye.
And see you soon.